Mic test 1 2 1 2. Okay, everything's looking good on my end. Oop. Gonna need to maneuver the mic out of the way a little bit. How are you guys doing today? Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this fine corner of the world. It is Nullius Verba here. A little bit behind schedule today. Sorry about that. I decided I would get myself a little bit of a treat, and I popped out for lunch after my late start. Hopefully you guys don't mind too much. But today is Friday, so hopefully you guys are doing good today. Those of you at work, hopefully you're getting out soon. Those of you currently, at summer school or summer camp or otherwise, hopefully your day's ending relatively soon. I was gonna say your tongue was hanging out. Yeah, my model, again, I need to do some serious working on my model. I only have like a very surface level understanding of how my model works. And I will be honest, again, this isn't my model. I didn't commission any particular artist to make this. I'm gonna pop up into the game screen, make sure everything's okay first. And we're gonna do some quick changes. Because I like playing this game on 60 FPS. I hope you guys enjoy seeing it in 60 FPS. But, quick sec. Going back to default. Music a bit loud? Okay. I will turn it down in the game settings. Give me a quick sec. Okay, new vehicle. There's settings, yes. Let me try this actually. Settings, here we go. Not there? Okay, I will turn it down in OBS then. It was the same volume as me? Okay. Yeah, I'll turn it down in OBS. Okay, how is this looking now, Novel Lady? I'll go back to this. La-di-da-di-da. I am speaking at my normal room temperature volume. How are you guys? Is this too loud? Is it too quiet? I cannot tell. Perfect? Okay, sweet. We're gonna change characters and whatnot. There we got Yukata for Peach. Well, actually, what we can do is, before I actually start going out and yapping and whatnot, I'm going to look at the map. That's not it. That's photo mode. Okay. We are just missing one outfit from Peach. Pauline's set. Mario needs 4 more character outfits. Might do that. Luigi's settled up. Shy Guy needs some more. Waluigi can use a few. My little brother, whenever we're together on the thing, he likes to play Mario. So for his sake, I will go with Mario. And we'll get some more outfits for him. Just because I know he likes playing as Mario. Go with basic Mario. Then we got the Real Racer. Oh god, he might like this one because he's also a big fan of movies and whatnot. Here we go. Alright, I'm going to let this go back to a little like computer controlled free roam for a little bit and just get a quick sip of my gamer sups. Give me a quick sec. Good stuff. So, here's the basic idea for today. We don't have any real objectives. There are some Peach coins we can grab. There are some power-ups we can get. At most, what I'll try and do is just go round and round the map and try and collect new outfits for characters. But that's not really actively what we're looking for. Right now, I'm just going to let my train of thought zoom wherever it feels like, from one thing to the next. If you guys in chat want to help me out and ask me questions or say stuff in particular, or just you want to lurk, that is A-okay with me. For now, I want to get at least 3 hours in and just let my train of thought go. Since growing up and just Nullius being Nullius, I'm usually more of a listener, not really a talker. So my hope is by doing these yapping streams, I will get more practice in just being a full conscious human being and talking and whatnot. I'll try and avoid the same areas if I can. I noticed last time we just went in loops from like Moon Meadows to the city to this place and that place. I'll try and avoid that as best I can. I never end up going to like Rosalina's Sky Palace or the Candy Zone or whatever, but we're just gonna go places. And with all that said, here we go. Alright, so once again, how have you guys been? My day started off fairly late as usual. Waking up whenever I feel like it. Got some lunch from Popeyes. I really should know better than to go there nowadays, just because their stuff isn't the healthiest. I know it's not the healthiest. I know it's not good for me. I even know that I'm actually getting pretty old, because what'll happen is if I eat too much, I guess like mucus or something starts to clog up in my throat. I have to cough it out. I don't know if it's a medical condition or just a symptom of aging or overeating, but it's what I got nowadays. Do you guys have any like good fast food places you like? Like in general, it's not a great idea to have a greatest like fast food place. Fast food just isn't good for you in general. It's good, it's convenient. It's good on occasion, especially when you're in a place you don't really know. Like McDonald's' whole mission statement was just, ooh, nice one. You could go to one in France, go to one in South Africa, and go to one in Tokyo, go to one in San Francisco, and you'll overall get the same experience. Like some are a little bit different. Like the one in Mumbai in India is probably going to be more vegetarian than others, whereas one in Tokyo will probably be more, might have chopstick options or have more rice options. That's just like based off of like a guess. But for the most part, you'll get Big Macs, you'll get chicken nuggets, French fries, sodas in a cup, all that good stuff. Personally, I'm usually more of a chicken guy. Like, I enjoy chicken-based things. Like, as long as it's got chicken, you can probably take me anywhere, except maybe Chick-fil-A, because that's more politics. But beyond that, I liked the chicken nuggets at Wendy's. Soft on the inside, crunchy-ish on the outside. I was definitely very happy there. But with burgers are harder for me. I don't have that many good burger places near me. Usually if I want a good burger, I have to make it myself. Because I want like a nice patty that's not cold. I want like crunchy and good vegetables. And I want sauce. Like sauce for me is like the secret ingredient. If the burger does not have a good sauce, it may as well just be garbage. Because there's only so much spice and like flavor additives you can add to a burger before you've just like made something else. Like recently, I made a burger for my my dinner. I didn't make the patty exactly, but that's beyond the point. I usually put spinach on it for nutrition, tomatoes for a little bit of juiciness, onions for crunch and flavor. Put a little bit of sliced American cheese on top, melt it on. Like I've also like learned you gotta melt it on too. You also, it's a not bad idea. It's not a bad idea in my opinion to let the patties fry on the pan for a little bit. Not the same place I would put the burgers and the patties per se, but if you let the wheat patties sizzle and cook on the pan, you get crunch. You might get a little bit of butter and fatty flavor, but the texture and the crunch really does it for me. It's a good addition, I feel. Yeah, buns. I don't want none unless you got crunched buns, hun. Something like that. However that particular song went. But beyond that, we had some good bacon, like actual bacon pieces. Because what me and my family usually does is, ooh, wait, let's go to we can go to the master area anyway. Oh, this is the beginning route, whatever. What my family does is we use bacon bits, the big red bag from Costco, and we just reverse, please. We'll just throw that on as like a substitute. It's not usually the best, but in a limited situation like that, you know, you take what you can get. You don't really complain about it. If we had actual, like not even cooked bacon, like the microwave kind of stuff you get from the grocery stores, that would have added some good saltiness, some good texture and flavor to it. Though I don't know if it's better to like take bacon slices and have them melted in with the cheese. Because cheese is good and all. But if You just let the cheese melt everything, absorb everything like a gelatinous slime. You're kind of homogenizing the flavor and the texture. You're monopolizing it. Oh, buns, not patties. Yeah. I got you. Like, I don't know how many of you guys know about MapPat and the theory channels. To start with, I don't know if you guys know about MapPat. He originally made the game theory channel, then split off some side channels into film, food, and fashion. On his food theory channel, one of the theories he wanted to test it out, like kind of Mythbuster style, is it better to have a homogeneous, complementary kind of burger / sandwich where everything is similar, like soft foods or salty foods or sweet foods? Or is it better to have contrasting, non-conforming dishes with a crunchy here, a soft there, juicy here, salty there, sweet here? Is it better to have lots of parts into the whole? Or is it better to have one distinct flavor type? And what they found was they made a sandwich with very soft, tender bread, cheese, meats, things like that. They even found a measuring system, I believe, that they could group different foodstuffs into. And what they found was when you use homogeneous foods, soft everything, crunchy everything, sweet everything, salty everything, it's still a basically good thing. You can eat it and be happy, but it's indistinct. You can't tell the sauce from the bread, or the bread from the cheese, or the cheese from the meats, or the meats from the vegetables. If everything is just sweet, what's the point? I can't taste the barbecue sauce. I can't taste this and that. What's the point? It's just, as the Americans put it, it's a nothing burger. I'm sure some folks would love a nothing burger, but I am intended to agree with their conclusion. A nothing burger is not a great burger. You need contrast. I have spinach on mine for nutritional value, but it's also leafy. It's distinct. I can tell that the lettuce and the spinach is there. The tomato is very signature. So signature that some kids and some grown adults don't want it on their burgers or even their sandwiches. Onions have a distinct crunch and flavor profile. Cheese, patties, bacon, all that stuff too. And adding some more of that with crunchy, distinct buns. That's what Novelty was trying to say earlier. But distinctness really adds to the food profile. Maybe they need to experiment with cheese. Because mainly, the cheapest stuff, the most common stuff to add to sandwiches in my area, or at least my country, is American cheese. I'm pretty sure it's cheese products. Legally speaking, the USDA says it has to have XYZ properties. Otherwise, you cannot call it cheese. It has to be categorized as cheese product. I'm almost completely certain that American cheese falls into that camp of not quite cheese. It's cheese products. But of course, it's got the word American in there, so who cares? You're doing your patriotic duty by eating it. Reminds me of what I learned about World War I, apparently, because German hate was going so strong during World War I. Not World War II, weirdly enough. I think, at least. There was a footnote that said they changed the name of French fries to Freedom Fries. I don't know if this was a universal thing, or if it was one really weird store decided to do this. I don't know. But it caught my eye. It was an interesting anecdote. I'm pretty sure it was just the one place that was very, very heavily publicized. Because it's if 20, 50, 30, 100 years from now, someone discovers that anecdote about how there was a lawsuit about the bakery that didn't want to make a cake for a gay couple. I'm not going to get into the politics of that decision. I have my own opinions about it, but if an archaeologist or a historian discovers that and has to like make a profile or like a PowerPoint slide about the 2010s, 2020s year period, they might include an anecdote saying like, "Oh my goodness, you know, they were discriminating against gay families and gay couples like that." And I don't know if they're gonna like put it in a way that makes it sound like every single place in America was doing this, or if they're actually gonna be like just one particular place. That was after 9/11 when France refused to join the U.S. in invading Iraq for no good reason. Again, I'm not gonna get into the politics of it, but I remember seeing an anecdote about that for World War I believe. War is war, and that decision is above my pay grade, so I'm not going to get into whether it was right or wrong. I have my own opinion. If you guys want to pay me some super chats or give me some subs, then maybe I'll get into my political opinions and leanings. I'll go full on Hassan Piker. But beyond that, history's a fun thing. Like, if you get a really bad teacher in school, you'll probably hate it, because it's like, in the year 1791, the American forces launched a retaliatory attack on the British Imperial forces outside of Washington, D.C. And it's a snore fest. But like, certain content creators do a really, really excellent job of hyping that stuff up. Like, giving you the juicy, sexy deets of it. Like, I didn't know that there was like a... Do you know about the stereotype of like bards and D&D being like the horny, adventurous, chaotic, like player characters that they are? Apparently there was a real life person kind of like that, like named Julie Daubney, who fenced and dueled a lot of people for a lot of ladies' loves. She was a girl, by the way, so girl boss. There was even a point where she wanted her girlfriend back after she decided to try and like leave her because her family was pressuring her. And she joined a convent. Apparently what Julie was, she disguised herself as a nun coming in that was going to be new at this convent. She broke her girlfriend out and set the whole place on fire, so nobody would really be concerned about why this one new nun had gone missing. Which I found very interesting. And she was also apparently a friend of the French king at the time. I think it was Louis XIV. Who apparently also, I had learned off of this channel, Extra Credits, that his younger brother, I believe, was also gay. So even with like church forces saying, you know, oh, homosexuality and sodomy is a bad thing, doing this and that, I don't know, he couldn't really speak out about it. Because there's this really cool person, Julie Daubney, doing this stuff. His little brother's gay, so he can't really say anything towards that. Oh no, the point they were trying to make in the channel, I remember, was it kind of wanted him to speak out against her because she's doing all this raucous stuff, cross-dressing, wearing men's pants, dueling with rapiers, just being basically anti-church in terms of personality. And he couldn't really do that because, one, she was really cool and awesome, and number two, she was kind of gay. So if he spoke out against her for being gay, it feel like he was like speaking out against his little brother. Which, you know, you don't really want to do that. As any good big brother will know, you can bully your little brother as much as you want, but the minute somebody else tries to do it, you shut that shit down. Little brothers only get bullied by the big brothers and sisters, not by anybody else. Definitely not an institution like the church. Oh boy. But that was kind of a serious topic. Let me go on to something else. Are there any movies recently that you guys are getting interested in? Like, is there anything good in the theaters nowadays to watch? I was curious about Fantastic Four, but I didn't go to see it. I had heard it wasn't the best, but I wasn't entirely sure if it would be worth watching. I know the history of, like, the Fantastic Four, just broadly speaking, in terms of, like, them being in the cinema. They didn't always get good adaptations. Like, one director might do a good job with this characterization, but then they try tackling this character and that thing, and it doesn't quite go as well. Like, the first couple of attempts, I think it was like 2 or 3 attempts at making a movie adaptation of the Fantastic Four, didn't go too well. But I've heard relatively good things about this one, which I'm curious about. Even after Pedro Pascal was getting smeared in Twitter by some PR firm that J.K. Rowling had hired. Because reasons, but hey, that's politics. Politics. We don't get into politics before dinner time. And I don't care where you are in the world right now, dinner time is not close to me right now. But I'm curious. I know some folks were complaining about how the Silver Surfer is a girl in this adaptation. I don't particularly mind. Gooners are gonna goon. But she seemed interesting. She had an interesting design at the very least. I mean, all you really need to know about the Silver Surfer is just they're a herald of Galactus. They ride on a surfboard for reasons. And they mostly just do that. What other thing is like... The only reason every time I would agree that they shouldn't be changing the gender of characters is if their gender is an important story aspect. That would have less of an impact if they were changed from a guy to a girl or vice versa. Like, is there any aspect of the Silver Surfer's character that is made lesser because they're now a woman? I honestly can't think of anything. I remember seeing some video essays back in the day about how, like, making a female character a good female character in fiction isn't necessarily the point. What you want to do is make a good character first, and then make a good female character after. Or, more accurately, make the character good first, and then you can worry about being them a man or a woman second. Like, for those of you who have seen Blue Samurai, and remember Mizu's character, like, she's fun. Especially in the early episodes, she's very fun. But for the early episodes, it didn't really matter if she was a man or a woman. Like, if Mizu was a man instead of a woman, nothing would really change. She'd still be a samurai. He'd still be doing cool stuff with the katana. He'd still have glasses. He'd still be a hafu, a white father and a Japanese mother. And they would still be going on a quest to kill their father for making them a half-blood demon, as they put it in the show. Like, if you want to explore themes of like fatherhood, male expectations, things like that, then yeah, Mizu could be a man or a woman. But the show does go into themings of like a woman's place in society. Mizu has to disguise herself as a man in order to go around. Because they do explore in episode 1, I think, that if you're a woman, you need to get a man's permission or certain documents to leave the house and do certain tasks out in the wider Japanese world. Because Mizu is disguised as a man, Mizu doesn't have to worry about that. So there is that theming. There's also a later flashback where we find out how Mizu went on this journey of revenge and destruction in the first place. And we learn that Mizu did try and abandon the quest. She did try and just settle down, get an arranged marriage, and just settle down on a farm. Maybe try having some kids and just finding love. And it honestly works for a bit. But it doesn't work out. I'm not going to spoil why it doesn't work out. You'll have to watch it on Netflix if you want to find the true reason, but it does kind of come back to the idea of like what you expect a woman to do. And when people, not just men or women, are outside of those expectations or do something you don't expect, it's kind of freaky. Like if you see a homeless person like calling and texting somebody on an iPhone, you don't expect that. Like your image of poverty and homelessness is full-on destitute. Raggedy clothes, no home to live in, no possessions to speak of, begging on the streets. You wouldn't necessarily think of a person texting their best friend on an iPhone or calling somebody asking for something. That falls outside of expectations. And so some people, like folks on Twitter, again, you might be able to tell just off of this ramble that I'm a big Twitter user, I am. But some folks just think it's odd and there's something wrong. Because the usual reaction is when, this does not fit my expectations. That does not mean... Usually people default to not that something is wrong with their expectations or maybe my worldview is a bit skewed. What they usually end up thinking is, something's wrong in this scenario. My intuition is correct. there's something wrong here. Not with me, but with them. It's important when certain things don't exactly meet your worldview that you adjust expectations. Maybe some homeless folks are a bit more well off than you'd imagine. Maybe just an issue if they can't afford a home. And not to get into politics of it again, but home ownership is declining nowadays. I actually saw a headline, I forget what it was, Progress, Routers, whatever it was, that there are now currently, as of this day and age, more homeowners over the age of 70 than there are under the age of 35. I haven't taken a look at the actual data, the actual evidence for this just yet, but that means there are more homeowners at retirement age than there are of, like, actual, like, people going for starter homes. That does apply to me, too. Like, I don't have my own home. Not to dox myself at all, but I am currently living with my mom and my little brother. I cannot currently afford to live in my own place. Beyond that, there is also, like, my own internal reasons as to why I don't live on my own. The main reason to live on your own, as far as I'm concerned, is one of two, I think. Or three. Let's say three. Number one being you don't live well with your family. Maybe your mom and you disagree about something that you do. Maybe your dad doesn't think you should be living in the house anymore. Maybe he's got the cultural expectation that once you're 18, you either need to pay rent or get the hell out of the house. Or it could be number two, cultural expectation. People will look at you funny in the West, at the very least, or in America, if you tell them you're still living with your parents. Because that conjures up the image in their heads of the basement dweller. The grown adult that's living in the basement because the parents are too ashamed to show them to guests, who lives in the basement, does all their stuff down there, and very, very infrequently leaves. I won't deny that I kind of meet some of those stereotypes, except I don't live in the basement. Thankfully, the basement in my home isn't quite habitation friendly. It's good for storing stuff. We've got a lot of stuff down there. Mostly stuff we don't really use anymore. But I'm not living in the basement. I do thankfully have my own room. It's the one I've been staying in since middle school. It has changed over the years. Some repairs here, new posters there, new decorations in this corner and that corner. But back to the point. Another reason folks might want to move out is they don't want the cultural stigma of, oh God, you should live with your parents? And like the lighter reason possibly after that is number three, you might move because there's a job, a really good job that you want, but it's not in your local area. You might have passed some phone interviews. Things are looking good and bright for you. So instead of staying here, what you might do instead is go out, move out, and be close to that job. For some folks, that is a good career path and a good choice to make. For me, I'm educated and mostly experienced in childcare and early childhood education. That means that the jobs I'm probably going to be able to find, and probably the ones I'm going to have to apply to, are ones like pre-K teachers, assistant teachers, lead teachers in a daycare or an elementary school, things like that. I don't imagine there are any positions available for a person of my experience in education that would really entice me to move to a different area. Nothing that I can imagine would come to mind that would make me do that. I don't imagine any level of pay, benefits, would ever entice me to do something like that. As it stands right now in America, education is not a respected profession. Don't get me wrong. There are some really good parents out there who will tell you to your face that their child loves to come in and see Mr. Nullius or Miss whomever. And that education and going to school is a blessing and they adore it. And for that, I am perpetually happy and just satisfied. Like, nothing brightens up my day more than hearing Mr. Nullius and a kid running up to me and just giving me a little hug or giving me a high five or telling me about something. Or even a little bit less than that, like the mom and dad will come up to see and say, hey, Mr. Nullius, or like saying, oh, you're the Mr. Nullius. Like if they're the parent that doesn't come to pick up the kid too frequently, they'll go up into me and say, oh, you're the Mr. Nullius my kid won't stop talking about. Like, we've heard so much about you. Because the teacher will sometimes live off such a good impression the kid won't stop talking about you. Which just always puts a smile on my face and a small, I'm so sorry about that, on my lips. Because that's kind of the passive-aggressive or backhanded way of saying, my kid won't shut up about you. That's not me saying that the parents don't appreciate me or they're tired of hearing about me. I think it could also just be a matter of, yeah, the kid talks about you so much. Like, they focus on you a lot. And for those of you considering education, that is definitely one of the benefits. The pay isn't great. Some of the parents are very nasty and don't appreciate what you do at all, period. But for those who do, you are basically an angel sent down to earth, which I definitely love. Because remember, there was one little boy I worked at my first daycare. He was very shy, a little bit withdrawn, typical shy kid. But I would work with him, talk with him, try and encourage him to come out of his shell a little bit. And eventually he did. He spoke when he wanted to, he said what he wanted to, he asked questions when he wanted to. He grew into his own. And he grew fairly attached to me, because even after he aged out of the program, like the way my first daycare job worked, once a kid reaches a certain age or the last school year ends of pre-K, they usually gotta head out. They gotta head out to a proper school. Like mandatory first grade stuff, kindergarten stuff. But apparently, I guess my workplace offered a program where if you sign up, I guess, over a certain age, they also did after school and before school programs. And so apparently the parents thought well enough of the place, or there wasn't much other option beyond this, that they brought him back and had him do before and after school. And I still look forward to seeing Mr. Nullius every day, which always made me very, very happy. Alright, I'm gonna quit out of free roam for a quick sec. Oh, crap, hold on. Just to let my pinky get some blood flow back into it and get a quick drink. And let Mario roam for a little bit. If you guys got any questions about like teaching, education, childcare, that kind of stuff, do let me know. Otherwise, continue to lurk, continue just chill and relax. It's a Friday night, baby. It's a Friday afternoon, sorry. I don't know where you are in the world, but maybe it's Friday night for you. It's Friday afternoon for me. Let's chill, relax, and let the day flow away. Alright, I'm back. We're going to try putting the controller in a different position this time. What may have been causing my blood flow issues is I was putting my pinky down on top of the hard metallic base where my microphone is. I'm going to try putting it around this time. If I put it on my softer desk mat, which is of the lovely Nerissa Ravencroft, God bless, this is her birthday merch. But putting it there might let the blood flow have an easier time of going into and out of my finger. This is a good place to restart, so let's get back to it. Quick question from the chat. If money was no object, and you could move to whichever environment you would like, first off, would you go and choose to live in a rural area, a very urban area, or a suburban area. For context, I've been mostly living in a suburban area. The first 4 or 5 years of my life, I was in an urban area. I was in New York City. I won't tell you which borough because I don't want myself getting doxxed. I don't remember too much about it. I remember mostly going to parks, putting socks and shoes on as a little kid. And beyond that, not much else other than like very distinct dreams. I was a little bit too young to remember stuff back then. But that's just the way it is for kids. Before a certain age, your memories don't really form. But back to my question. I've only lived in an urban area for a little bit, so I don't remember too much. But I've been in all three. You like where you are? It's burbish, but close enough to the city that there's things to do. Yeah. I kind of agree with that. I've mostly lived in suburban areas, but I like it. It's not so densely packed like a city that you've got issues with noise pollution or neighbors or like other issues that might come up. But it's still fairly busy. There's community days for like this holiday and that holiday. You can cook out on your lawn, take care of a lawn, decorate your house to a certain degree. But it's not quite as free as a rural area. Rural areas give you a certain degree of control over what you can do. For the distinct price of not having many neighbors. Personally, I think I prefer a suburban area. But definitely, if I'm going to choose a suburban area, it's definitely going to be like an apartment or someplace that doesn't have a lawn. I wouldn't say no to Bermuda, though. Alright, well, I did say if it was money was no object thing. Just be careful for the hurricanes. The hurricanes can get pretty nasty in the Caribbean. Personally, yeah, again, I like suburban areas. It's away from the hustle and bustle of the city, but close enough-ish that if you wanted to go up there and do stuff, you could do that stuff. And next question. Regardless of where you want to live, like suburban, urban, rural, do you prefer it hot or cold? I personally prefer it cold. Just because I'm a very high tolerance for cold kind of guy. My parents often, when I was younger, whenever I would walk to the bus or go outside for the day, I would have to put on a jacket. And half the time when I'm wearing the jacket, I'm sweating underneath. Just because, again, high tolerance for the cold. Okay, enough lady like the cool area. I agree. Let's try this area, actually. I have a very high tolerance for colds. Not for heat, though. Because I think I told you the story about the one counselor and me in the cabin having to fight over the air conditioning. Ooh, this is cool. Is this where they put the rockets? That's it. Anyway, I have a very high tolerance for cold. Like, I feel bad sometimes because my dad, who's not living with my mom anymore, they've been divorced. They live separately. My dad will sometimes text me saying, "Hey, do you need anything? You need jackets, socks, this and that?" I'm like, "No, I don't need anything. Thank you for offering, but I don't need anything." And he was just trying to help half the time. Trying to, like, do basic dad stuff. But never need anything, really. Most of my clothes I take alright care of. Nothing's really decaying that badly or coming apart at the seams too much. I do like colder areas. If money was no object, I'd probably be moving somewhere out towards Canada. But I would have to do my research. Because from what little I've heard, in the colder, more tundra-ridden areas with a little bit of lakes and moisture, during, I think it's summertime, even if with like cooler temperatures up there, you might have to deal with an outbreak of mosquitoes. I know at the very least in Alaska I heard about this, because mosquito eggs are kind of... the way mosquito eggs work is they like bodies of still water. So if it's something turbulent like a lake that's got waves and ebbs, that's going to and fro all the time, all day, it can't really work. I'm assuming because the eggs are fragile, need something still and calm, let them gestate and grow and develop. And apparently what might happen in places like Canada or Alaska is the ice will melt, they'll form the puddles, which will be perfect for mosquito larvae to bloom and grow. I don't know if it's every area up north or like that's frequently cold. I don't know that for sure. But if I wanted to move to a different area like Canada, Alaska, even like Russia, Finland, Sweden, Norway or whatever, I want to do my research first. Because mosquitoes are another thing I can't really stand. I would give anything for a perpetually cold climate. Hell, even like going to Antarctica crossed my mind. But I would have to be like a scientific researcher for that. But if I had to deal with mosquito swarms, I probably wouldn't be able to take it. Like, I can barely take the 2 cold sores I got on my lip right now. I think I was dealing with a bunch of stress from going to see my grandparents, because some of them, one of them was a little bit old-fashioned in terms of stress relief. Sometimes we'll get very frustrated. My grandpa will release that stress in terms of, oh, it's garbage. Oh, no, you can't do this. Oh, it's a miserable life. Why are you living like this? Oh, garbage. And he'll just do that until he's satisfied, walk away for a little bit, and cool off, and he'll act like nothing happened. Great for him. Not great for us. Unfortunately, my family's just learned to deal with it. It's not a great coping system for either of us, but the stress of awaiting it, not knowing what's going to happen, might have contributed to the cold sores I've got to deal with right now. But thankfully, all is going to go well. And I'm going to have to work out the timings. I don't know if I told you this, guys, yet, but my grandparents are kind of at the age where they need someone to come up and help them with chores, maintenance of the house, and things like that. Instead of like giving it to some random schmutz out in the sticks who doesn't know really what they're doing, they figured they'd ask me to come up and go do it for them. I figure I'm a bit hard up on cash, so why not? It's a good little bit of extra work for me. Almost like I kind of use the exercise. I kind of realized walking around 3 kilometers at the mall with my little brother the other day, I was kind of tuckered out after every little 1 kilometer stretch. The cabs couldn't really take it. All this sitting and doing nothing at home didn't really help with my muscles. But to get to the broader point of places you want to live, to narrow it down, it'd have to be suburban, and it'd have to be cool for most of the year. And the languages I speak relatively well are English and German. I've also picked up some bits and pieces of Japanese from anime, but not enough. Not nearly enough to like form a conversation, ask for directions, ask where the bathroom is. I mean, I was considering even joining the JET program before, and like maybe seeing if I could go over there and do some stuff. But Maine, I don't know. I would consider going further north. I know it's where Stephen King lives and whatnot. Maybe it wouldn't be that bad an idea. I heard that Maine is also very politically distinct, at least in terms of like corporate culture. Off of a different VTuber, I forget what her name is, but she's like very old school Disney Rubber Hose cartoon inspired. Like she's very black and white, very like Betsy the Riveter kind of thing inspired. And she was telling her chat about how in Maine it's very, very hard for like large chains and corporate things to spring up in Maine. They don't even have billboards. They are very, very anti-corporation, which I can honestly get down with. It's protecting local businesses, local interests, and whatnot. Having less advertisements on the road, just all around be good. But if, even during the summer, it's still going to be hot in Maine, I wouldn't really consider it. But it's an idea to think about. Maybe it was like a coastal-ish area where like the wind from the Atlantic Ocean brings cold air through. Especially with the colder fronts from the Arctic. That might be nice. I really, really just want cold air, please. I hate summer. I hate it so much. Please take it away from me, God. I don't want it anymore. Please give summer to all those godless heathens in Florida throwing alligators into a drive-thru window. And please reserve beautiful winter for me. I would love that so much. But the Yukon. I think the Yukon is in Alaska, isn't it? That is another option. But that's very, very aggressively rural for the most part. I know there's urban areas like Anchorage and other such places. But I don't know if I'd do well there. Especially with all the wildlife to contend with. And it's fiercely conservative. I don't know if I'd do well there. Maybe one of these days I could take a vacation up there. I'm sure most of the things you see up in Alaska are probably just local shops, going to see nature in the national parks. But that's not usually what I go to see. Idea for a vacation if nothing else. Right, I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break to just let my body cool down for a little bit. All that good stuff. I'm going to put my model down so you can only see the ears. And I'll be back in about 5-ish minutes. Enjoy the music. Enjoy the break. BRB. Oh boy. All right, let me bring my model back up. There we go. All right, and I'm not sure how much longer I'm gonna be able to take this, guys. I don't know why I had such a brilliant idea to eat a boatload of Popeye's fried chicken and then slam like 24 ounces of like Gamer Subs water, but I did. We might be cutting this a bit short. Not right now. Might try and just aim for 2 hours and see how I feel. Maybe digestion will kick over and most of the food will be expelled to a different area of my body, but we'll see. For now, what kind of foods do you guys like? Like say you're at a restaurant, and it's a basic restaurant. It's not anything too fancy. It's not high-class dining. It's just food. Simple food. What do you guys usually order? If I'm in like a no-judgment zone, like with family or friends, I myself am probably ordering some like chicken tenders and fries. Or if I want to feel more grown up, I'll get like a chicken sandwich, a chicken burger. For most of my life, I was a fairly picky eater, so chicken and hot dogs mostly what I ate. I couldn't get really convinced otherwise. But I'm curious what you guys are really into. I was on, prior to all this streaming stuff, I had gone on a date, like once, this one girl. Although I don't know if she really considered it a date per se. I certainly did at least. Or at a minimum, I took her out to a restaurant to chat and catch up, whatever she wants to call it. And it was this Italian place. And I'd been here before. I figured, chicken and fries are good and all that stuff, but it's not entirely. I don't know. I don't feel like it would be fairly good to showcase. It's not quite the right food when you're out with polite company. Oh, so let me check something really quick. Oh, Mario's got all his outfits. So I'm going to worry about Mario anymore. Let's check somebody out here. Bowser? He needs 2 more. I'm not going to worry about that. Let's try Waluigi. Alright. He's a Mario. But I was about to say, because I couldn't really pick chicken tenders or like a chicken sandwich or whatever, just trying to have like a polite conversation with her, I ended up picking, what was it? Fettuccine Alfredo. Because remember my grandmother on my father's side. She was very Italian, and she would make that for me every now and again. I love the taste of it. So I figured I'd get that right now. It was very filling the way the restaurant made it, but it was still good. Probably packed like 1,000 calories in it. So I'll be working off that for the rest of my life. But that's what I ordered. I wanted to seem a bit more sophisticated than your average 5-year-old who just wants chicken nuggies and French fries. Beyond that, I still like me a good burger. Pizza's nice to share, if everybody can agree on a topping at the very least. Remember, when I would get visitation days from my dad, it was a tradition basically. He would pick us up from my mom at McDonald's. And hello, Amelia Harper, how you doing? We are just yapping. He would pick us up and he would go to his local pizza place, and he'd order one for himself and one for me and my brother to share. Me and my little brother could never really agree on a topping, so he would get pepperoni on his half, and I would get black olives on mine. I've kind of like expanded my taste out a little bit. Oh, how am I? I am good. How are you? I'm just yapping right now about food stuff. I probably shouldn't be yapping about food stuff since I just like ate a lot of food fairly recently. So I'm kind of stuffed to the gills. How are you doing? Hopefully where you are, your day is ending relatively soon. Do I stream daily? No. My goal is to stream like 3 out of every weekdays and at least once on the weekends. If you're curious about my schedule, You can check my socials. I believe they're somewhere in my Twitch bio. And it should show you the schedule for the week. I usually like to post them on Sundays. My plans, though, for the weekend are I will be streaming on Saturday and Sunday. I like to stream 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and 9 p.m. Central European Standard. Plans for Saturday and Sunday are Slay the Princess. I don't know if we're going to finish it off tomorrow, or if there'll still be some content left to do, but that's a plan. Not sure what I'm going to do if I do finish it off, though. Not to spoil anything, but I'm aware that the ending of Slay the Princess doesn't have to necessarily be the end. Like they all ride off into the sunset, living happily ever after. It can be a bit of a cycle. Well, thank you for the compliments on the model. It's not exactly mine. This is a free asset I found on VTube Studio Workshop on Steam. One of these days I am going to find a way to credit the artist. But thank you. It's a starter model for now. Once I earn enough money on my own and get the means to, I'll start drawing up inspiration and get my own custom model. I was possibly thinking about like getting like an avatar type thing. Like I don't know how to describe it. If you've ever seen Ben 10, there's this one alien he can transform into that's like this amalgamation, collective hive mind sort of thing. I am personal graphic designer. Very nice. I get a lot of graphic designers in my chat every now and again. Would you like me to check out your work? If you can find me on Twitter, you can send me a message there. I'll accept it and I'll take a look. Although I will be perfectly honest with you, I am poor. I am exceptionally poor. However, I will give you a small spark of hope if this conversation's going the way I think it's going. I was recently given the option to apply for monetization on Twitch. I'm not quite at affiliate level yet, but I might be at the point where I might need emotes. I am not there today. I'm not ready for that. But I think they just left. I might need some emotes in the future. Well. One of these days. I appreciate them stopping in at the beginning and hanging around for a while, but yeah, I understand. If you've got stuff to do, clients to meet, all that good stuff, and the person says they're broke and not able to pay for services, then yeah, I can understand you not want to stick around. It stinks on my end, but for them I understand. It's alright. I do not begrudge them at all. Hold on, is this all of the outfits? No, I need 3 more. Well, yeah, not broke, exactly. I'm poor. My income levels are not where I would like them to be. To put it a different way. Like, maybe if I apply for monetization and some folks come on in and subscribe, drop bits, things like that, maybe I'll have more income, but for now, I can't afford to pay artists for emotes and things like that. Maybe someday. But honestly, what I'll probably end up doing is I want to get a model first. I want to have an idea and a theme. The main reason I'm using a free asset model in the first place is because I want to just start first. The advice I've gotten from the larger channels like Giga, Iron Mouse is don't worry about getting all the pieces together first. Just stream. Just start. That's what I'm doing. I've started. I'll look over my VODs later, get clips, get content, and learn a bit more about myself. What kind of things I like, how I stream, how I talk, how I play. And that will all be useful data in getting inspiration for a new model. I was originally thinking like maybe like a snake theme, because some folks usually go for like cat boys, cat girls, very simple, but very tried and tested true stuff. But I like, there's a content creator who does lots of illustrations and story stuff. I think their name is Based Binky on Twitter. And they do lots of, like, characters inspired by European traditions, Chinese stuff. They had one character that was like a, if you follow on Twitter, please give a follow back. I'll message you. Sure, that's fine. Base Binky had like one character who's like a snake lady who was raised in a coven of like assassins, but she was a really shit assassin. And so she was sent to infiltrate this one human village, try and manipulate them and take it over for the snake coven. But she was so bad doing evil stuff, she ended up just doing good stuff for evil reasons. Like, you see, you poor fool, I gave you a cup of green tea when you had a tummy ache so you would indebt yourself to me. All part of my evil plan. But beyond, like, the characteristics of the character, I like the snake aesthetics. Like, it wasn't like a full furry type thing or a scaly type thing, where it goes like 100% hard on the animal aesthetics. It was like patches of snake skin there, slitted snake eyes, sharp canines that look like fangs on a cobra. Like, I like that kind of aesthetic. If I could get an artist who's really good with like making animal type persona like models for VTubers, I might consider going that direction. Because I do love snakes, just as a matter of fact. As a kid, they were like my favorite animal to start with. That is one kind of VTuber model I was into. But before I get channel layouts and stream transitions, all the other assets I would need to get a proper streamer thing going, I want a model first. So as to not be frivolous and waste your time or my time saying, oh, I'd like this and that and this thing, another thing, blah, blah, blah. Let me get my head in order, get my thoughts in order. And when I'm ready, I'll reach out to the artists I know, and we'll collaborate and try and make something nice. But first, the model. In my mind, model just has to come first. Because all the channel assets are going to be relating to the model. Like, for example, let's say I decide to go something more like Heavenly Father's he's got going on. His character design is based off of a character from Apex Legends. He's got a mouth rebreather, big green trench coat. Her name is Amelia Harper. Okay, I will look you up as soon as the stream is over. In about hour, 2 hours time. I will look you up. Although, again, guaranteed, I am poor, so I don't have much money to spend just yet. Though I will keep you in mind. If you do good work, above and beyond work, and more than that, iconic, very easy to identify work, like, you'll skip to the front of the line from me. Like, one of the things I don't necessarily like about VTuber design nowadays, not to diss artists or anything, but just, you can't pick them apart in a crowd. Like, most of them are just very, very heavily designed anime characters. Like, one's maybe got a jacket on, maybe one's got a mask. The girls all have their hair all done up as pretty as you like. The guys look slick and stylish, but like, I couldn't tell this one from that one. The name has to match the face, and the face has to be iconic, as well as the name. Which is where my name kind of came in. Because for those of you who don't know, I take my name from the Royal Academy of Sciences motto, Nullius Verba, which means take no one's word for it. And I kind of took that to Nullius Verba, which for me, Nullius means nobody or nothing, nothingness. So I was possibly considering maybe commissioning a model for nobody. Like an avatar of the in-between, the there and not quite there, the nothing, the nobodies. But I don't know how that would look. To my point before, there's a Ben 10 character that's like an avatar of stars. Very androgynous, no clothing, no genitalia, no distinctive features, just eyes in a human-shaped mass of stars. And that I thought was interesting. That could work. It would be distinct, but it wouldn't have much character to it. To balance that out, you know, the streamer can have their own personality attached to it. Because, for example, if you just look at, let's say, Froggy Locke's model, you would get a fairly frog-inspired outfit. The eyes are a bit unusual. There's lots of greens and pinks. It's a very aquatic, frog-themed outfit, but not necessarily you would get her personality gleamed off of just looking at her. You would know she's fairly chaotic, fairly crazy, very silly and friend-oriented, and very little out of whack. You wouldn't necessarily think that just by looking at her. Until she opens her mouth and she says this and that. Like, same for me. For now, I think I'm a fairly dry kind of streamer. Kind of in the vein of, like, gigas and moist criticals. I'm not exactly as reactive or as expressive as other folks are out there. So maybe something like the avatar of no one and nothing might work well for me. Whereas a snake avatar or a snake model might not work as well. Who knows? I want to stop one day, just look at the models, look at what I've been doing, how I act, how people look at me and treat me, and then design the model after that. But I still have time. I'm still earning some money. Pardon me. I've got time, thankfully. Again, apologies if you can hear that. I've had a big lunch and it's come back to say hi. All the yapping and the talking and all this and that and the thing and the hair and this. But it's really working up my stomach and my GI tract and getting things worked up. Oh boy. Come on, here we go through Venice. Let me ask you guys, do you guys travel a bunch? Because I was noticing, I was trying out some swiping on Facebook dating. Not having much luck, naturally. But I noticed, like, for a lot of the girls I was looking at, their profiles, a lot of them were mentioning how they traveled, they went to this place and that place. They did scuba diving and rock climbing and did this and that. And I thought that was fascinating. Even, like, I saw a clip off of Twitter about some dating show. And the one girl was mentioning how she liked to go rock climbing and scuba diving. All the guys seemed kind of weirded out by that. But, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh boy, oh boy. But let me ask, do you guys do that kind of stuff when you go vacationing? Or like just for leisure time? Do you go out and do exciting adventurous stuff, or do you like stay home and relax, or go somewhere more local than, you know, your local skydive place? If I'm bored, I'll usually play a game. Like lately I've been getting into Hades 2 again. I feel kind of bad about it because I've been streaming that. So I feel like some folks are going to be missing content off of that, but I figure what maybe I'll do to make up for that is when it actually gets the 1.0 release, I'll start streaming it again. Just from square one. Because even originally, my first playthrough, my first stream of it even, was off of my personal playthrough, not off of a new save. Ooh, road rough game, that's nice. I usually like to play games. Although I want to get back into reading books. I mainly like stuff like historical fiction, like the stuff James Clavell put out, like especially first contact stories. Like even in Mass Effect Andromeda, like when you first go to see the new aliens in the Andromeda Galaxy, that first contact stuff, especially where Ryder can't understand their language. Because for a little bit of context, in the Mass Effect universe, there is a universal translator that translates like human languages into alien languages and alien languages into robots and things like that. So everyone can understand everybody, regardless of what language they're speaking, whether it's Turians talking to Africans, Africans talking to Asians, Asians talking to the Asari. Everybody understands everybody. And it just works. But Ryder has to take a solid 5 minutes for his AI to catch up and try and translate what these guys are talking about. First contact stories really got me interested. They really got me hooked. Especially since, you know, my home country is the United States of America. So naturally, First Contact is part of my local history and culture. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of Christopher Columbus, but like hearing about Pocahontas and John Smith, like the Aztecs meeting the conquistadors, even like Hawaiians interacting with British sailors and James Cook and whatnot, I'm really fascinated because it's such a unique thing. It's almost like aliens talking to humans. Not necessarily like one side's more alien than the other. But like, you don't get that kind of stuff in most stories. Like, even in science fiction, it's usually like the aliens are evil and must be destroyed. Or they've been here for like 1,000 years and there's all this super cool technology, be grateful. I just love a good First Contact story. Yeah, historical fiction's my jam. I like science fiction to a degree. But if they're going to be like, sir, the quantum entanglement is being disrupted by the beta gamma waves. And he's like, cinch it down and tighten it by 3 degrees. We're going. Like, if you're going to throw sciencey mumbo jumbo at me, I'm not interested. Just make it fantasy with science elements. Something I can understand, like lasers, lightsabers, teleportation, faster than light travel. You don't need a gun that shoots a laser hole through you and then makes a black hole that swallows you up. You don't have to explain it for 50 pages. Just give me something I can understand. And even if it's something like new, like Mass Effect drives, like you can explain to me a little bit, like the way Mass Effect drives work in Mass Effect is they reduce the mass of a ship to near zero, so it only needs like a tiny bit of energy to go from stopped or slow speed to light speed. Pew! Across the whole galaxy. The limitation is there's only so many Mass Effect drives through the galaxy, and they were made by an ancient advanced race of aliens. So you want new ones? Too bad, you're not getting any new ones. What you got is what you get. If you break them, they're gone. Now you have to drive at close to, but not quite, light speed. Ugh. Pardon me. Like I said, this stream might be going a bit shorter than I'd like it to, because I'm trying to cough and choke on myself. But I'm very sad that people don't really read that many books nowadays. Like, I can understand it, especially if you got like a bad teacher in your English classes, and they taught you to hate books. Like, oh, the blue curtain is blue because the author is trying to express their sadness and the depression here. Sometimes that's true. Sometimes the author is dealing with depressive episodes in their lives, and they're using color to illustrate that. But sometimes the curtain's blue and you need to put the fries in the bag, Miss Smith. I know personally, for me, it can be harder to identify when the curtain's blue because the author's depressed, or if they just really like ravens because they're ravens. And for folks who just aren't interested in it and they're being told all this stuff, it's like, I don't want to hear about it. I want to go and just like goon at my house later. Just leave me alone. It can be hard, especially when you're asked to like interpret this on your own. Like, if you're a good teacher, it's not just multiple choice. You answer A, B, C, or D, or you're incorrect. Like, this is, like, you're applying your own life experiences and getting your own interpretations of this. Like, for example, if you guys watch anime, you might be watching Don. And there's, recently we're in the Evil Eye arc, where one of the characters gets possessed by this spirit called the Evil Eye. And the way it works is, the one character can kind of get under control and just keep him contained. But if his body comes into contact with cold water or just cold liquids in general, they transform into the Evil Eye and they have to let him out. But while he's the Evil Eye, he gets hit by hot water, he gets transformed back into the base character. And that kind of is interesting. Like, that part alone is interesting enough, but then how the characters have to reshape their lives around this. Like, he has to never drink cold water again. He can't wash his hands in cold water. He can't step out into the rain unexposed. Like, he has to transform his whole life around this, so he doesn't have to hurt his friends and family. To me, as a person trained in and experienced with folks with special needs, that rang all the alarm bells of special needs, folks. Because it's like... oh, God. Ugh. Apologies. Oh, boy. Goodness, I'm not sure I'm going to make it even to 2 hours. God. But, it's a classic hallmarks of, like, a kid does not want this to happen, otherwise he's going to freak out and cause big issues. Like, I remember there was this one kid I was working with at the summer camp, and for whatever reason, he really liked getting mozzarella sticks. Because we had a little camp store, and you could order some food there. Like, you get a bag of chips, some cookies. They even had like a little fryer there that had mozzarella sticks. And he was a very rigid, very rigidly... I don't even know what the word. If something didn't go his way, he did not handle it well. And this day, it would be his routine. If something was out of his routine, he didn't like it. And one day, we went to the camp store to buy some mozzarella sticks, and they said, sorry, we're all out. And he was not happy. He started mumbling. He started like almost talking in tongues, getting upset, slapping himself a little bit, putting his hand in his mouth. He didn't have a good time. And for that, almost the entire day, I tried to get him up and move. I tried to get him to do this and that. I couldn't get him to budge. So I figured, screw it. I got nothing else to do. I don't mind sitting here with him. And half the ethos of this camp was, it's a break from like your regular school stuff. Having to appease the teachers, appease test scores, appease your parents. They can just come here, relax, do their thing, and then go home. So I figured, fuck it, I'll just let him be. Let him sit, relax. And if he wants to get upset, he can get upset. After a while, a different counselor had to come in and pry him away for after like 2 hours. 2, 3, 4 hours, however much it was. But point being, that, like the one character, Gigi, having to deal with this thing that would appear and ruin everyone's day if certain conditions weren't met, instantly lit up with like red flags for like autism, Asperger's, whatever have you. It's not exactly the same, because it's like he's very high function, he can do his own stuff, he doesn't need people to do things for him. It's just if certain things happen, if certain conditions are met, evil eye comes out. But it instantly lit up like special needs things for me. And I find that amazing, because like one person can look at that and say, oh, I see like my father or my brother in that, or another person can look at that and see, oh, I see like high functioning autism in that, or whatever. Just art is interesting. I like it. Okay, I think I'll go for another like 5, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll call it, because if I keep yapping like this, I am just gonna... oh, Jesus Christ. I'm probably gonna end up bringing my lunch back out. Oh, boy. But beyond that, I don't really have much else to talk about. I'll keep my train of thought going for as long as I can. But I guess let me ask you guys this. If I thought about doing the whole Assassin's Creed series from 1 to Shadows, would you be interested? Like, we're not doing everything. We're not going to collect every flag, every feather, every loose bit of scrap of paper, of song bits. Would you be interested, starting with 1? Because my original idea as a streamer would be just to play through a whole series. Like, I've got the whole Assassin's Creed series, Sans Shadow for now. I've got all the Yakuza games. I've got all the Mass Effects, Dragon Ages, Sons, the latest one, I forget what it's called. But it's an idea I have. I'm kind of interested in doing it. I don't know if you'd be interested. Not everyone's interested in playing old games. But I figure I might give it a try. Let's do 5 minutes because I'm a bit more eepy today. I'm sorry for you guys who are expecting a longer stream than this, but it's what I can handle. I'm very sorry. Maybe next time I can handle something bigger than this. This is meant to be practice, and if I get hurt or if I get like disheartened or something bad happens in the course of that practice, it's always safer to just stop rather than keep going and risk hurting yourself. I know, like in anime, TV shows, movies, it's always push beyond your limits, like do the impossible, all that stuff. But like, if you're gonna hurt yourself in the process of that, then like, it's not good practice. You want to learn and form good habits, not dysfunctional ones. Like, trying to find your limits and push past them is good, especially if you're doing like muscle workouts or exercise. But pushing yourself to the point of like throwing up, exhaustion, passing out is just never good. It's never ever a good thing. And not to TMI you guys, but if I keep going like this, I am probably going to be pushing to a limit that I don't want to display here on stream. I'm sure it would make a good clippable moment, but it'd be a gross moment. I don't want to go through that right now. Besides, I can save more of my energy for later, for tomorrow, for Slay the Princess. And for those of you still watching, fair warning, next week's probably going to be a lot less stringent, a lot less structured. I'm going to experiment, try new things, and see how they go. It'll probably be like one day we'll just yap on the home screen instead of yapping in Mario Kart. Then another day we'll be testing out games to see if they work in OBS. Because remember, back when I was trying to do like themed weeks, I tried to do Fallout 3 for like Father's Day or whatever, since Liam Neeson's a father character in that game. But for whatever reason, I could get OBS to find the page for Fallout, but for whatever reason Fallout wouldn't show up. So I had to quickly change Fallout to something else, I forget what it was. And I found out the hard way that playing Helldivers didn't work too well either, because I was playing with one of my online friends who was very chatty, catty. He was very good with leadership, directions, with making good moments and whatnot, but it didn't give me any good moments to shine or talk or do my own thing. So I want to tinker with things, tinker with settings. Because even right now on my end, playing Mario Kart, I still have like little bits like every second. Like it goes, the frame rate doesn't look quite right. The visuals pause for a little bit. There's something like more high octane, high energy like Cyberpunk. They'll be bad and devastating. But if it's something slower like Fields of Mystria or like Civilization 7, that's not as like deal breaking. I just want to experiment and see which games can handle it and which games really can't. I've got a fair bunch of games in my Steam library that we want to check out, and that'll probably be a different stream. Beyond that, don't know what else I'll do next week. And honestly, now seems like a good time to end it. So give me a quick sec, finish this stunt. We're gonna quit free roam. We'll plug our socials, tell our plans, and then we'll end for today. I don't have enough of a viewership. There aren't enough live viewers right now for me to justify rating anybody, so let's just plug our socials. We're gonna pull this minimized, bring this up. Alright, for those of you still here, my name is Nullius Verba. For those of you who don't know, I'm a male independent VTuber. I like to stream games like Mario Kart, Hollow Knight, Hades, and more. I like to stream at least 3 days every weekday, and at least once on the weekends. The plan for tomorrow is Slay the Princess. After that, we'll be playing a little bit more of Slay the Princess in case I don't finish the story just yet. For next week, stay tuned to my socials and you'll see what I have planned and in store. For now, though, if you want to help me out and support me, the best way you can do that is to follow me on Twitch. You can do that by pressing the purple and white heart button underneath your view. If you can't quite see it on mobile, what you got to do is either turn your phone vertical, and you should be able to see it fairly easily. If you're on desktop, you should be able to see it somewhere on your screen already. It should be somewhere underneath the stream view. Well, if you see me on YouTube, the best way to support me is liking the video, leaving comments, and subscribing. That will let you know when I'm streaming next time, anytime I have a video or other content out. That supports me very greatly. Because YouTube and Twitch both track my progress and how close I am to reaching the next level of this and that based on follower count and subscriber count. If you want to see my stream schedule for next week and when I'll be streaming next time, give me a moment. I don't usually go, and I'm not very active on the website, but you can follow me on Blue Sky in case you don't like Twitter. You'll know it's me based on this profile picture and this background, Nullius Verba _VT. I mainly put live updates here. Sometimes I'll put social media posts. I'll put calendars out. You can ignore this. This is a cute little clip I took. If you don't like Blue Sky and you're still on Twitter, you can find me here. Same icon, same background, same name. But for now, that is all. Thank you guys so much for showing up. Tomorrow will be Slay the Princess, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard, and 9 p.m. Central European Standard Time. I've been Nullius Verba. Thank you so much for showing up. Have a good morning, day, afternoon, evening, and I'll see you guys next time. Love you all. Bye-bye.